All right, everybody. Just a few quick thoughts on the Crystal Palace Man City game. It ended 3-0 with Man City getting the win, getting 5 straight wins now after they had a, a particular period of bad form during this season. And now they've gone on to win 5 games in a row. Philfoden's back in a great form. Haaland's always been in good form. He's just that kind of a player. And now he's back 2 goals tonight, and Foden also bagged 1. But if you actually watch the game, you would think that that is the most unfair result possible, because Crystal Palace did not deserve a 3-0 beating at all. And even after the first goal was scored at the dusk of the first half, you would imagine Crystal Palace would be kicking their feet, because it was so frustrating. Crystal Palace had been resilient from the very beginning. Man City's attack had been pretty good. At least they were getting Crystal Palace in all those spaces where they were forced to rise up to the occasion. And Crystal Palace did rise up to the occasion. They were so resilient in tracking down Man City's balls forward to Haaland. They were so resilient in getting the ball back and then launching an attack of their own into their attacking half of the pitch. But ultimately, Crystal Palace had too many chances and they did not capitalize on a single one of them. And I think they would sorely regret all those missed chances from Adam Wharton, from Mateta, even from Jeremy Pino. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting how you pronounce it. But they had so many great golden chances even, and they just couldn't capitalize on them. And it just sucks. Oliver Glasner would go back to the drawing board and just look at what the game could have been. It might have ended 3-2, it might have ended 3-3, maybe 1-1. I don't know, the game might have looked different if they had scored a goal in the first half, because they did really deserve a goal, if not 2 or 3. They deserve to get at least a draw here, if not a win. Board, you see it says 3-0, and it looks like the most unfair result possible ever. But at the same time, it is also pretty fair. I think this is one of the areas that Palace are lacking in this season. They've done so well over the course of the season, and we're only a third into the season right now. They've beaten Liverpool, they've drawn to Chelsea, they've beaten Liverpool a few times actually. But if they want to continue to maintain this form, if they want to continue to fight for Europe, or maybe even continue to stay in European playoff spots, in those spots for the Champions League or Europa League or Conference League, they need a player who can finish off those chances. They're creating very well. They're creating a lot of chances. Their XG, if you actually care about it, is pretty good. And I think even if some of their players do get signed by other teams, by the Big Six or some other clubs, I think they would still be pretty fine in the midfield or in the creativity department, because Oliver Glasner would somehow take care of it. But they do need someone who can finish off those chances. I don't know who it might be. Maybe they buy someone experienced for a short term, or maybe they discover someone, a prodigy who can finish off those chances. But right now they do need a good striker who can convert those goals, who can convert those chances, and ensure that Palace do fight for the game if they are not actually in it even. And most of the times they are in the game, they just can't handle the level. And that is what happened with City today. City completely outclassed them in a few areas. City were very opportunistic. City were making the most out of their chances, as Haaland's first goal even showed, as Foden's goal showed. And they're in such terrific form that it's impossible they won't score. Palace is a really good team. They're a really strong team too. but it takes certain things to get to the level that they're aiming for. And I would love for them to stay at this level. But as we've seen in the last few years, all the teams that were challenging for all those spots, Brighton for a few years, West Ham for a few years, maybe even Fulham. None of those teams, even Brentford for a short while, none of those teams are in those spots, in those 5, 6, 7 spots, the Europa League, the Conference League spots. And you would think, so one of the reasons for that is their best players going to the big 6 teams. But it's not just that. It's that they fail to retain, they fail to upgrade in a few areas that the more successful clubs do focus on. And I hope the teams who are doing well this season, Sunderland, Bournemouth, actually keeps it up over the course of the season. Because as we saw today, Palace didn't capitalize on their chances, and City did with the chance that they got with Haaland's first goal, and with the player, with the quality, with the charm of Haaland. This is what you get. This is what you get from a world-class player. This is what you get from one of the best players of the world. He is going to score if you provide him that opportunity. Now, the same couldn't be said about Palace. Even though they were doing so well in the midfield, Kamada and everyone else, Wharton and everybody else, they were doing so good at the back. They just couldn't keep up at the same level in the attack. Their good work at that point was undone. It was completely pointless to do anything else afterwards. I love that Palace fans were still so supportive of their team, but ultimately Palace would be angry with themselves, and they have no one else to blame than themselves. This is going to hurt Glasner. This is going to hurt their fans. This is going to hurt the players. This is a game that could have been theirs, but it just isn't, and it isn't by a mile now. It's 3-0. Is a tough loss. But this is what the game was. City just outclassed Palace in a few areas, and Palace just didn't have the answers to all those questions they were posing to them. And that's how City won. That is what separates a world-class team, one of the best teams of the world, and a team that is still finding its footing in the Premier League, that is still finding its footing in those areas, in those spots where you fight for European playoffs. This is one of those learning curve moments. This is one of those learning curve moments for Palace. But I hope this actually does lead to a change in the Palace strategy, the Crystal Palace strategy, and they do find someone who could actually finish off those chances. I love Mateta. Mateta is a great player, but they do need that intimidating force up there, leading their attack and finishing off those chances that they're creating. And they're creating it even after Eze has left. So the system's not a problem. It's just that there's not someone who can properly execute the system. Anyways, that is it for the video. I just wanted to get some quick thoughts out before I go to bed right now. It's like 2 a.m. right now. It is exactly 2 a.m. right now. I just wanted to record my thoughts on the game, and I'll see you guys very soon. Or at least I'll try to. Anyways, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought of the game. I'll see you guys soon.